In the previous episode we saw that Woo Jin Kim was able to connect to other skeletons. The other guilds noticed that not a lot of monsters came their way, so they decided to take a bigger risk by exploring the dungeon. Meanwhile, Woo Jin Kim got another skill where he can summon more than 5 skeleton soldiers. He uses his skill instantly as he summons more. Jin-Ah is surprised since he knew that he only could summon 5 skeleton soldiers. But Woo Jin Kim then tells him that it's not the case anymore. The other guild members find all the orcs that were killed by Woo Jin Kim and Jin-Ah. They are surprised and state that it looks like a massacre and wonder what person could do this. There was a labyrinth made by Jin-Ah to trap the orcs. They analyze where it was made for, and they state that they have never seen a battle like this. They realize that this was the reason why they were able to relax. The guild then decides to gather all the players to announce what's happening. Jin-Ah states that it's not his kind of trap, but he was ordered by Woo Jin Kim to do it. Woo Jin Kim then states that the traps are not needed anymore. Jin-Ah then says that he will show his skills while fighting the orcs, but Woo Jin Kim thought that it was a threat towards him. He then walks with his sword over to Jin-Ah, who got instantly scared and regretted his words. He then asks him what's the matter since he was going to show his skills. He then agrees as he takes down a lot of monsters. It's already the last day of the dungeon, since they only had to survive 5 days. They then hear a rescue signal, which is meant to gather the players, and Woo Jin Kim notices that. Woo Jin Kim then explains to him that they are calling up players to decide who is going to fight the needle snake first. Woo Jin Kim then states that they got confident since they made it easy for them. He then tells Jin-Ah to look at his catalog. It's a legendary golden catalog, which gives him the ability to let dead monster bodies explode. They went to the gathering of the players. The leader of the Hatay Guild wants to say something. They will move to the next floor in a few minutes, where the dungeon boss will be. The Hatay Guild claims that they will hunt the snake needle first. They ask if anyone has objections. Jin-Ah finds it ridiculous that they are going to decide who is going to fight first. The leader of the Hatay Guild then states that if anyone interferes with their battle, that they will kill them instantly. He has a really serious face, so he makes no jokes on this. They do not want help, even if they really needed it. This warning was meant for Woo Jin Kim. At least he feels like it was. A man of the Hatay Guild then asks Woo Jin Kim and Jin-Ah if he understood what they said. Since they are disguised as Russian people, they act like they don't speak Korean. Jin-Ah immediately wants to take him down, but Woo Jin Kim holds him back since he doesn't want to draw any attention. Every person of the Hatay Guild has a red band on his arm. This calms Jin-Ah down, since he notices that there are a lot of players with that band. They move to the second ground, and the snake needle immediately appears. The Hatay Guild is ready to attack, since they carefully positioned all their players. The team leader then commands them to attack. They do their best to attack the snake from a distance, since they want to avoid the poison. Jin-Ah says that it would be only logical to attack with all the people they got, but the Hatay Guild is confident that they can easily clear this without any help. Even Jin-Ah notices that they don't need any help. Jin-Ah then compliments them on their well set up attack. The snake is running away, and the guild even predicted that, but Woo Jin Kim noticed that the needle snake didn't attack properly yet. The guild then thinks that the snake slowed down, so they charged in, but it seems like the snake is preparing an attack, and their team leader notices this, so he orders them to stay on their guards. The snake then launches a wide attack, which injures a lot of players from the guild. They try to run away from the attack, but it's useless, since it has such a wide range. Woo Jin Kim thought that the needles of the snake were covered with poison, but that wasn't the case. Jin-Ah is amazed by the wide attack of the snake. The guild leader notices that the snake shooted all his needles at them, so this is the time to attack. The players try to recover themselves as they charge towards the snake again. The guild leader then says that it wasn't much of a deal in the end, but then suddenly a lot of players are collapsing and it seems like they have been poisoned. Blood comes out of their mouths and they finally realize that they have been poisoned. The majority of the tankers can't go to battle anymore, so their whole strategy and defense falls apart. Their team leader is very surprised since they didn't show any signs that they were affected. He then thinks that the horns might did contain poison. Jin-Ah cannot see everything, so he asks Woo Jin Kim what is going on. He tells Jin-Ah that the poison worked on them. He is also surprised that a lot of people were taken down in an instant. He then also suggests that the thorns were stained with poison, but the tankers wouldn't be the first one to suffer in that case. So Woo Jin Kim counters that suggestion. Jin-Ah then wants to help them take down the monster snake, but Woo Jin Kim does not allow it yet. But Woo Jin analyzed the snake and found his hidden card, so it's time for him to make a move. On his own, Jin-Ah does not like this idea, since he thinks that the monster snake will be too much for them to handle. He tells him that he will not be ordered around by him. Woo Jin then intimidates him by saying, "Is that so?" He immediately gets scared again, and he takes back his words. Woo Jin Kim is moving towards the needle snake and is analyzing the way he he poisons people. He states that it's already too late for the people who have been infected by the poison. The damage of the poison is now irreversible, but not for Woo Jin Kim since he enables his power Apophis. With this power, he is resistant to poison, and the power of the poison of the snake has even enhanced his own poison. He is even amazed by his own powers. He decides that he will attack with a spear. He opens his inventory and grabs one. The leader of the guild is so upset since he already lost the battle and a lot of players on his side will die. He asks how many people are down, but no one knows. They are all scattered, so to reformate is practically impossible. Even his crew members are saying that it's impossible to still fight. His whole crew already gave up on winning, since it will only be suicide to them. All of them are so upset that they have to abandon their comrades like this. Even if they're going to regroup and fight, the results are pretty obvious. They then hear a sound coming from the needle snake. The leader asks them to confirm the location of the snake since he thinks that the snake will be coming for them. But someone tells them that a player is fighting the needle snake, and that is obviously Woo Jin Kim. The player who announces it states that if they don't believe him, that they will have to see it for themselves. The team leader doesn't get it, since he didn't think there was anyone who could breathe in the poison. But he thinks that the poison might have disappeared and that other players were able to get close to him because of this. He asks his players to go over there again, but they refuse since they think it will be suicide. He is convinced that the poison disappeared, so he orders his people to go. Meanwhile, at the fight with Woo Jin Kim, he uses his skeleton soldiers to attack from a distance. He tries to pierce through his thick skin. He can poison him easily if he's able to do that. He attacks his neck as he tries to pierce through it, and he even succeeds since the snake has been poisoned. It will lose a lot of hit points each second. There are a lot of holes since its thorns are thrown away. It is likely that this is extremely painful for the snake. Woo Jin Kim realized that it acted as if it was in a pinch, so he could lure the people and attack them all at once. Woo Jin Kim's plan is to poison him through every hole in his body, so that means also his eyes. Woo Jin Kim ordered Jin-Ah to lay down a lot of dead bodies of the orcs. Woo Jin Kim planned to use his new skill to let dead bodies explode, which he got in the beginning of this episode. Jin-Ah showed his middle finger to one of the skeletons, but Woo Jin Kim was connected to that one, so he immediately apologized again. He then disconnected from that skeleton and connected to another one to attack the snake. He grabs a spear to launch another attack to poison the snake again. He rushes forward to the snake with his skeleton body and succeeds in piercing through his skin again. This immediately affects the snake again. The snake tries to attack one of the skeletons, but Woo Jin connected already to another one, poisoning the snake on another place. He states that he will suit him the name the Needle Snake, as he puts a lot of spears in his body. The effect took longer to initiate than he thought, but he does not give up on constantly poisoning the snake. This decreases the snake's stats also. The snake now tries to run away since it can't handle the poison. The snake then heads to a direction Woo Jin Kim already anticipated. The dead bodies of the orcs who are meant to explode were laid there by Jin-Ah. Woo Jin Kim then lets it explode, which damages the snake a lot. In combination with the poison, the snake does not know what to do now, so it heads to another direction blindly, where other bodies were also laid down. Meanwhile, in the real world, Park Chung-won's faction has completely been wiped out in the dungeon, with 6 floors. While Oh Se-chan reads this, he talks about Woo Jin Kim. If they exit the dungeon, they need to get out of there quick, so they need a diplomatic car. That costs a lot to rent. Oh Se-chan is a very greedy rich person, so he's sweating right now. Jin-Ah realized that he didn't predict the escape of the snake. He got Jin-Ah to lay dead bodies everywhere. The other guild members are rushing towards the fight of Woo Jin. They have been hearing the screams of the snake for a while now, so they really want to see who's causing that. But before they can reach the fighting scene, they already get a message that the needle snake has been defeated. They are in disbelief that this already happened, but they are also happy that they can leave this dungeon alive. But they want to steal the snake skin. Their guild leader thinks that it is impossible that they killed the snake. He cannot exit the dungeon without any results, so he at least wants to report the person who did this. Woo Jin Kim gets a notification that he gets plus 20 on all his stats, and he again leveled up. He needs to search for a yellow pearl inside of the snake. He thinks that this will be easier if he turns it to a skeleton soldier, which he knows will fail, but it will help him a lot. Jin-Ah blocks them from accessing the snake. They claim that they are not bad people and they only want to look, but they get scared of the skeleton soldiers, so they decide to step back. They now understand why the skeleton soldiers weren't affected by the poison. They are amazed by the appearance of the skeletons. While they're at it, they see something big. It's the snake Woo Jin Kim tries to make a skeleton of. As Jin-Ah is distracted, the guild leader tries to pass him, but he immediately hits him in his face. The Hatay guild leader didn't expect that, and all his comrades note that they aren't able to do anything. They try to remember his face to report that to the news. But luckily, they weren't able to see Woo Jin Kim. The summon of the snake skeleton soldier failed as expected, but the yellow pearl is immediately visible. This item powers Woo Jin Kim up even more. The outside world didn't know that this was a survival quest for 5 days, that the players inside are already dead since it takes so long. When suddenly they get the message that the dungeon has been cleared. They see the players coming out of the dungeon, and they ask immediately who is responsible for clearing it. The Hatay guild leader tells them that it was the Russians, and he points to them. They try to interview them, but Woo Jin Kim and Jin Ah do not respond. The diplomatic bodyguards were hired to block the press, and before they know it, Woo Jin Kim and Jin Ah already left. They are in a really comfortable car. Jin Ah asks Woo Jin Kim what kind of item he got as a reward for killing the snake. But before he can answer, he gets a call from Acey-chan, who asks him how it feels to be a hero. The media is only talking about him, and they are stating that they found a new necromancer. Acey-chan suggests that Woo Jin Kim should keep this name and play with it on a bigger stage. Woo Jin Kim had the exact same idea. He then tells Woo Jin Kim what happened about the Park Jong-won faction. He tells them that their team was wiped out, but Woo Jin Kim planned this all. It was one of the Skull Guild members who went along with them, so it's most likely a reaction to what Woo Jin Kim said about Park Jong-won in front of the spy camera. They then switch cars, and Jin Ah is complaining about the shit car from Woo Jin Kim since he's used to luxury because of Acey-chan.